G'day guys, welcome to my channel. This is Simple Home Brew. My name is Pierre. Today I'm just merging split videos that I posted a few months back. I'm just putting it all together as a grain to glass video, so I hope you enjoy this. You've probably seen it before, but if you haven't, I hope you enjoy it. Catch you again soon. Bye. G'day guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm doing an all grain brew. I haven't done one for a while. I'm using the Grainfather. I'm going to do myself an IPA Brimstone. The IPA Brimstone has 2 grains in it and a heap of hops. So stick around, it's going to be fun. Alright, what I'm putting in is pale malt from Cooper's Pale Malt, which is about 6 kilograms of Cooper's Pale Malt. I'm also putting in a caramel aromatic grain. That's only going to be 600 grams. I couldn't get the ones that were on the actual Brimstone recipe, so I had to make or grab something that was different. So hopefully this will taste great. The other thing is it's going to be a 4-step mash. So the first step is 55 degrees. The second step is 62, 68, and then 78. So there's a few steps going. It's about an hour and a half's worth of mashing. We are putting in hops. The hops we're putting in is Tetnanga, just 10 grams of that. We're also putting Citra and Cascade, and we're putting a lot of that in. There's about 100 grams of each going in nearly. So I'll tell you how much as I go, and I will put the recipe on the website. The yeast we're using is American West Coast ale yeast. We couldn't get the one they recommended, but this is an ale anyway, so I grabbed a West Coast ale yeast, and that's going to do the job. So here we go. So we've got our grains. This is about 6 kilos of pale ale malt, or grains, grain malt, malt grain, whatever. I'm putting it into 21.3 litres of 55 degree heat or water, and then I'm going to steep it for 10 minutes apparently. This will do it, and then it will increase the temperature. It'll increase the temperature to 62 degrees and leave that for 45 minutes. So let's get into it, eh? Right, just break the base of this bag open. And let it just flow out nice and evenly. We learn, don't we, hey? Look at this. I'll quickly stir this while it's flowing out. It's working well. I know you probably can't see much of what I'm doing there, but I'm trying. See, it'd be good to have a helping hand, but everyone I know is just not interested. So we just have to do it by myself. So we're just doing this to get rid of the dough balls that might come up or be caught in it. So the dough balls will basically be pockets of dry grains. We don't want that because the grains have to have water all through them. So, but that looks pretty good to me. Mixing it and pouring it at the same time was a good idea. Okay. And we'll start the timer, and I'll put the lid on. Oh. Put the lid on. is going to be the last time you're going to see this grain. I'm just going to put this little basket in here. Throw it down till it reaches the surface of the grain. Now these rubber seals, they always seem to want to come off. Silicon. But we'll try not to let it happen this time. Bring that down to the surface of the grain. Right down till it comes above. That's it. Don't compress it or press it down, because what will happen is it will compress the grains and then you'll have all kinds of issues. Voila! Right, now we shall put the pump and get the flow going. And there it goes. Now I'll just quickly let that run for a bit, and we'll slow it down. It's about to switch over to 62 degrees and head into the 62 degree mash for 45 minutes. So you're ready for it. It'll beep away. Let me know it's done. There you go. So it's at 62 degrees Celsius. It's going to reach that temperature of 62 degrees and start a timer for 45 minutes. At the moment, as you can see, the timer's not running. In probably about 5 minutes, it will reach its goal temperature, and then it will start running. We're up to the second part of the 45-minute timer. It's increasing to 68 degrees Celsius, and our flow's going nicely. You can see the water is starting to clear out now, so it's looking really good. In about 20 minutes, I'm going to do my sparge water. Okay guys, I thought I might tell you about this. I'm outside at the moment. My tap's running. I have no running water in my brew shed, so I had to make a makeshift hose so I can actually cool down my wort. So what I've done, I've got my hose connected. It's connected all the way up here. I know it's a bit of a mess out here because it's been bucketing down rain. Had pretty crappy weather for a while. Anyway, just run here. This is temporary. And out here, I do have my hose sitting. Then I've got my old esky that I can just run it into so it disperses it better, the water I mean. And then the hose from the thing, I'll show you. The hose from the wort chiller will hang out the window. That's the output, and that's the in. So I've actually attached what came with this, a hose plug, so we can actually use that to cool the wort off. And it's just fresh water going through. It shouldn't be running for too long, so we should be right. So that's my setup for now, and all I have to do is just basically open this window here and run it out the window at the moment. I'll catch most of it in the esky, and then whatever is left over, we'll just run out. So let's see how we go with that, eh? So while we're waiting for the brew to happen, I'll show you around the shed a little bit. I've got some insulation I had to put in, this stuff here. The actual roof was made of tin, and on a hot day, we had a couple of 30-degree days just out of the blue. It heated up like a hot box in here. It was pretty bad. So eventually I'll insulate the walls, and I'll put paneling here to keep it cooler. The problem I have is I have to ferment in here. To ferment in here, I'll really need an air conditioning. But I could have a fermentation fridge that I could use in this. And right now I'm doing a pressure ferment on this Firmzilla here. The pressure fermenter is dodgy. The actual Firmzilla seal is not good. It's working at about 8 pounds, 8 psi right now. And it's actually fermenting well. And what I've got is a Mangrove Jack's, I'll show you, temperature controller. This is set to heat at the moment only. I've got it at about 21 degrees at the moment to keep it that way. And it fluctuates up and down. It turns my heater on, which is in here, because it's 12 degrees outside, so it's terrible. It's like winter. And there's my little bloke here, working away. And in here, in a few days' time, I'm going to dry hop. So I also needed places to hang my stuff, so I've hung my gear up here, which is a bit of a mess at the moment, but I will get better at it. This is where I keep my GoPro camera when I'm brewing on this bench. The issue I've got is positioning cameras. I can't seem to position the cameras where I want. At the moment I've got my Grainfather down here, which is near the window, so when I start boiling, the steam will go out the window. That is probably the only solution I have at the moment without having to plumb running water in a tap and a sink, which I don't really need. I can get away with what I'm doing. I've got a messy, what do you call it, shelving. I've got another one of these I've got to put up. That is going to be sorted out. This one here is going to be all my brewing gear, and the one I'm going to put on this side, which I'm going to build today, is going to have all my tools. So it's all going to stay there with my bike and other things, so that'll keep it out of the way. Yeah, so it's a bit of a mess. I'm still working on it. It's a work in progress, so eventually it'll be a nice little tidy setup and hopefully organised. So I hope you liked it. I think it's a great setup so far, and that's about all for now. While I've been waiting for the brew to work and do stuff, it does recommend to rehydrate your yeast. I've rehydrated it, of course, so it smells like yeast. Did it in 30 degrees, it was about 32 degrees Celsius water, just hot water. Sanitised everything, of course. When the brew is ready to go into the fermenter, I'll just pour the yeast in. It's already activated. It'll probably start going much quicker. That's why they say to rehydrate it. In a way, everything I've ever done, I've never had to rehydrate my yeast. I might next time do a yeast starter, which takes about a day or two to do. That'll happen probably in the next couple of brews, after Christmas I suppose, or after New Year's. So that'll be interesting to learn how to do that. Alright guys, we're about to do our sparge. Let's get into it, huh? Alright, I need to put 10.5 litres of 75 degrees Celsius water into the brew. Oh, it's hot, sorry. I'll just quickly grab the lid off. I need the handle, pull the sparge out, pull the basket out I should say. You'll see this, hopefully you can see this. Alright, our basket of grains comes up fairly weighty. Alright, let that drain a bit. What this has done is the grains themselves have filtered out the water, the wort. So what happens now is I get hopefully mostly filtered wort into the next chamber, which in turn gives me a cleaner brew. So that's how we do it. This basket is for the hop edition, which is a few, and I do have to get some scales to do it. So let's go on for it. We'll open that up. Over here. And we'll start sparging. And with this sparge, basically pour it around the top basket like this. And all it does is puts cleaner water through the sifting system, so it washes out as much sugars as it possibly can. Now I boiled the water in the pot, the sparge water, on the stove because it was one of the best ways to do it. At the moment, if you can hear it, it's bucketing down rain outside, so I'm glad I'm here doing this. Alright guys, the sparge is getting close to an end. I've just pulled this basket out, this filter out. You can see now what's going on. All the fresh water's gone on top, and it's actually filtered all out the grains. So now it's pretty much clear water coming out at the bottom, just enough to get it all right and ready. While I'm waiting for this to boil, I'm going to add, we have a day 6 dry hop addition that we have to put in. which is 40 grams of Citra and 26 grams of Cascade. So I'm just going to measure that out now and have it ready in my Fermentasaurus. This thing, it's already sanitized, even though hops has its own sanitary properties anyway. So I'll get some Cascade hops and I'll fill this up and I'll put the lid on and I'll pop that in the fridge until it's ready for dry hopping, which will happen in 6 days time. So this one is the Cascade hops. I need 26 grams of Cascade hops. So I might as well whack that in now. Don't lose it. Oh, look at that, spot on, 26 grams. And that's the rest for my other hop addition when it comes up. This one's 40 grams. This one's Citra at 40 grams. And that, like I said, will be another dry hop addition. Oh. Okay, 26, which means it's 66. I have to go to because I forgot to press the 0 button. So I'm just gonna 56, we need to be 66, another 10 grams. And like I said, I'll pop this in the fridge and let it stay in the fridge until two more, day 6, and then I'll whack it into the Fermentasaurus as instructed. All right, you can see it's starting to foam up nicely now. So to keep my eye on that and stop it from overflowing. Once it's nearly at 100 degrees C, it's about to start boiling. So we'll see how we go with it, eh? So we're at now 90 minutes to end of boil. We don't put our first hop addition until 20 minutes to end of boil. I'm just waiting for that to happen. Just keep my eye on it now because it's going to start bubbling like crazy, and we're going to try and get rid of this foam. And once the foam disappears, then it's okay to just take it easy with it, relax. Okay guys, I've just hit the 5-minute addition of hops, whacked it in the hop basket here, just shovel it around. It's a bit of a bugger that, I actually forgot about it, so I have to boil this for an extra 2 minutes to make it all work the way it should. Okay, so now it's booping away at no minutes. I'm just going to put my 0 minutes hop bag in. So that's just going to sit there, and now we're going to do what they call a 20-minute hop stand. Okay, I feel that I've probably stuffed that up a little bit, but it doesn't matter, it's going to come out really nice. The hops smell great, I must say. So I'll pop the hops in here. They're going to sit now in the heat for 20 minutes without cooling. So while it's doing that, I'm going to set up my cooler and start pumping water through it to sanitize it and get it ready to cool down. Okay. So what I'm doing here, guys, is I'm just popping the coolant, the water chiller through this system so I can actually pump water through it to actually heat the pipe up. What that will do is kill any bacteria that might be in this pipe. So I'll just let that pump while we're waiting for it to for the hop stand to finish, and we'll go from there. Okay everyone, the brew has stopped. It's finally finished. The temperature, I have to make sure it's about 35 degrees or less so I can actually put it in my Fermentasaurus. So now I have to pump it through the water chiller. So that is what I'll do now. I've got a thermometer here that I can check it with. I'll head out to the tap, turn it on, and see what we get out of it, eh? You ready? Back in a sec. Okay, so the tap's on. The water's running through the pipes here. It is now cooling this water off in this tube. Now I just want to see what temperature it drops it down to. We shall check it, give it a bit more time there. It's going right up against the bloody wall, isn't it? And it's pretty cold water, so it should be... Oh, hello, it's not pumping. Oh, the pump's turned off, stupid thing. Why did that bloody pump turn off? Okay, we'll just let that pump through for a little bit. Okay, I can already feel it cool down. I have sanitized this. I'll whack it on the... Have a look what the temperature of the water is. Telling me 40, 30, 33, 30, 29, 29. So it's coming out. It's actually coming out at a cold temperature than that. Yeah, okay. It's dropping plenty. It's because I'm holding it. I should not hold it. Oh, just pop it up the tube like that. That'll probably give me a better reading. All right, 25, 20. Okay, that's cool enough. I'm going to put that straight into my Fermentasaurus. I don't know if you guys can see this. I'll get the other camera running. Okay, you should be able to see this. I've got a jacket on. It is freezing out here. It's like winter again. We are in spring and we have had some really good hot weather, but suddenly we've got a big cold snap. And all my planned brewing went to hell. So anything good that might have come out of it, well, it's gone now. So I'm just quickly sanitizing everything. So turn this valve off so we don't get any water everywhere. We'll grab this, pop it into the hoe, and we'll fill her up. Off it goes. So now, that is our wort being drained into the Fermentasaurus, cooled instantly by the wort chiller. So it's pretty cool. Okay, so this is what's happening. Just the wort's coming out, pouring out. It's a bit, what do you call it? Cloudy. I couldn't help that. There's a lot of hops going in, but she's working really nicely. Like I said, it's coming out nice and cool. We'll check the temperature once it's full, and I'll do a gravity reading as well. So we'll get back to you once we're done. So we're at our 20 litres, spot on what we're after. It's probably pretty much right. So there's my wort, all ready to go, all done, finished. A bit cloudy. I'm hoping it will clear out. I didn't use a Warflock tablet because it wasn't in the instructions. It didn't say to use that. So what can you do about that? But now I'm ready to pitch my yeast. What I did, I'll show you what I did. I actually rehydrated my yeast to something I don't normally do, which is this guy here. So it's been sitting here for about an hour or two, just covered up with a sanitized plastic bag. So we just twirl that around a bit. So whack you down here for a minute. I'm right-handed, so it's easier for me to twirl it without spilling from my right hand. I just mix it up a little bit. I didn't want to touch it with anything because it's already sanitized, and I don't want to touch it with something that's not sanitized and take a chance. But it's not really working. So I'll pour my yeast in. Ah, look at that. I'm going to have to get that out somehow. That wasn't smart, was it? I was able to get at least a little bit of water out of what was left in the tube, and that was enough to rinse it out. So in it goes. That's my yeast done. So that's it, yeast in. So now what I'm going to do is give that a good stir to aerate it with my stirring stick, which now I will sanitize with a spray. Because this is down temperature now. It's too low in temperature. One of my cameras has stopped working, so you might as well use you now. So that now has been sprayed with sanitizer. It's not foolproof, but it's good. And now I'll give it a good old stir. Just to get air in there. And that'll oxygenate the wort and give the yeast something to breathe while they're eating. Look at that, jeez. I reckon that should do it. So what's going to happen now is that's going to sit there for 6 days, apparently. We need to leave it for 6 days. And after 6 days, I have to do a dry hop of pretty much everything I just did again. So how good is this going to taste? So I just whack the old lid on there like that. Grab my airlock. So we've got some sanitizer in here, that will sit on that. And we're ready to go. And now I'll pop that up on the table and I'll let it ferment for 6 days, and I'll just put my dry hop in, which is this, which is going in the fridge in a sec. And then we'll see how it goes after that. Just a quick one. I'm going to dry hop my Brimstone IPA. Just have to do it quickly. It's about day 7 of fermentation. It's getting closer to the end of its fermentation, so I thought I'd better show you what I do. I've got my little Fermentasaurus bottle. This little guy here has been sitting in my fridge. It's got what's left of the hops. It's got what's left of the hops in it. I'm about to just quickly purge it. I'll try and purge it of any oxygen it might have, and then I'll put it in there and just quickly open the valve and see if I can mix it with the rest of the brew. So here we go. So a couple of things to do is to open the lid, of course, and there's oxygen in here, so I just want to quickly purge oxygen out of there by just blowing a bit of CO2 in there. First open the valve. Get some pressure up. Okay, so there's CO2 in there coming out. Just blow it in there. That'll hopefully take away some of the CO2, oxygen that's in there. I know there's going to be a little bit in there. What can you do? It's not the perfect way of doing it. That's why I like the Filmzilla. Okay, just over here. Hope you can see what I'm doing. Quickly get some sanitizer. Whack it under there. There's a little seal under here. I just want to make sure it actually is in there. Yes, yeah, the rubber seal is in there. And that's very important. A heap of sanitizer up there. Heap of sanitizer around here. Yes, I know I'm doing it badly. Just quickly give it another quick purge. And now I will screw it in up under here. Now, like I said, it's not the perfect way to do it, but I tried to purge as much oxygen out as I could. Alright, that's firm. So we now crack open the valve. Just, I'm sorry to say, it was on the other side, so you'll see. Let's hope something happens, because there we go. It's actually going to work. So that'll slowly go. It'll eventually get faster and faster, like you can see there. There it goes. So I'm now dry hopping, pushing that through. It's going to fluff up through my beer, which is now fermented. The hops will stir it up a little bit, so we'll get some, I'll show you. There you go, so you can see it there. It's activating and running through, so you can see what's going on. I'll just bring you up to here. We've got, as you can see, it's still got a nice big foam head on it because it's still fermenting. That's bubbling away there. So I've ordered a jacket for this because out in the shed here, we've had a couple of really cold days. So I've had to heat everything up, make everything warm and put a thermometer on it. So that's been a bit of a pain, I must say. So there you go, all done. So the next step after this is another 7 days or so sitting in this, and then I will be kegging this one and leaving it for 50 days to age. Well, this brew has finished fermenting. I'm going to do a gravity check before I do anything else, and then I'm going to transfer this brew using gravity into my keg that has been sanitized and cleaned. And what I can smell of it, it smells beautiful. It smells really nice, so I'm hoping this will come out really nice. I'm going to transfer my brew through gravity. This is my gravity pipe, and it's going to basically strain into my keg. I've already drained some of the leftover yeast into this pot before doing it, so I don't have as much dregs at the bottom of this one, so to make it a bit easier. I've already sanitized everything except for here. This bloody bottle stopped working. With that, I'm actually just going to spray everything to make sure it is fully sanitized. This is full of sanitizer, so I'll actually tip that out now. Just get rid of this. All right, pour that into here. Oh, and it all goes in the wrong direction. That's nice, isn't it? Oh, well, doesn't matter. So, tipped out our sanitizer is now been emptied. This tube here is here to create, basically this tube goes to the base of this keg to stop the brew aerating too much. I'm hoping that not much air gets in. You will hear sloshing. I can't help that. It just happens. All right, so here we go. I'm going to crack the valve, which is up on here. I'll just turn this a little so you can see. That's the valve. This valve will be, I'll crack now, and you'll see, just move that, you'll see our brew start pouring through. You can see some yeast going through, and it's now making its way into the keg. So it's pretty clear. You can see it's coming out pretty clear, so it's settled pretty nicely. I'm hoping that will really come out great. While I leave that to transfer, I just need to tell you that there was 19 litres left in the fermenter, which is pretty much enough to fill this thing to the top. I shouldn't have to worry about watching it. It's going to transfer nicely. After that, I'm going to leave it for 40 days to age, and then we're going to try it. So now I'm going to just grab a gravity reading and see how we go with that. Okay, so I've got my brew here. Let's see what it comes out as. Where are we? Okay, we're looking at a final gravity, and it looks pretty good really, of 10, 12. 10, 12, I think that's what my target was, so that's awesome, 10, 12. Now let's see what it tastes like before we do any aging on it. Okay, here goes. Oh, that is beautiful. That is very tasty. Probably not the best. I could drink that now. That is a nice brew. Like I said, not perfect, needs to age a little bit, but not bad at all. I'm looking forward to the ending result. Beautiful. So, final gravity, 10, 12. 10.012. Awesome. Came out really nice, not like the last one I did. Looks like we're at the end of our transfer. Pretty much filled up the keg. Happy with that. Look at that, spot on. Can't whinge about that, eh? All right, I'll now seal the top. Put a bit of sanitizer around it. As I said, I have sanitized the whole keg, inside and out. Now I'll just put the lid on and we'll seal it in for 40 days and we'll try it out in about that time period. What I'll do now is I'll just quickly grab some CO2 and I'll purge the oxygen out of this. Let it sit for a bit, then I'll purge the oxygen out of this, and this will be stored in my house where it's cooler all the time for that 40-day period of time. Today I'm going to do a quick review on my Brimstone IPA that I made a good 2 months ago now. It's aged well, it tastes brilliant, and I just thought I might share it with you. The smell is awesome. It is one of the best smells I've smelt in beer. I will make sure I make this one again. The one I made, I didn't add any of extra chemicals or things to make the water better. A lot of people are telling me and giving me advice on how to make my water smell and taste better. But I tell you what, this beer is phenomenal. It is a commercial beer for sure. It tastes and smells so fresh and so nice. And the flavour, it's quite sweet. More like a lager. Not thick though, as you can tell. It's not lacing too much because this glass has just been cleaned in soapy water, I'm sorry to say. But other than that, it's brilliant. It is one of the best beers I've made. I got this recipe online from a German brewer, and I just adjusted it to make it work for me, only because I couldn't get the grains that he suggested. And I'm glad I did it, actually. It was meant to be for a 25 litre batch, but I got a 22 litres out of it. So it's a little bit stronger in flavour and maybe a little bit sweeter. It started at 1060 original gravity. Once it fermented down, it took, I left it at 18 degrees for 3 weeks in the fermenter in the fridge, and it was fermented down, and it fermented down to 1017, which gave it a nice sweet flavour. The carbonation is beautiful. It's just exactly right. And I didn't add carbonation to it. I actually let it pressure ferment and kept the carbonation it created on its own. So there was no secondary. I'm wrapped with it. It is one of the best brews I feel I've made. A lot of you might not think that. I'll post you a link to the Grainfather website for this one. I'm proud of it. It's a really good brew. Cheers. Very refreshing, very refreshing. So thank you for watching, thank you for subscribing, and thank you for taking the time to watch my video. We'll catch you on the next one. See ya.